Okay, so part three. Yes, I'm recording these as a chunk, and then they're gonna come out over the course of probably about 2 weeks. Um, part three. This is going to be equipment. These are extra equipment that are pretty common to see or have been common in the past. And I'm not going to cover like every single equipment choice, but just some of the most common ones. Silent stilettos. This was the best second slot of Arcane Barrier. If you needed Arcane Barrier 2, this is where you went. That's typically because those decks where you wanted Arcane Barrier 2 instead of 1 didn't have many poppers, so you didn't have to worry about paying for the action point on footsteps. Totally cool. We don't want to give up chess piece in those matchups. That's either Vestige, which is really important into like Verdance, or it was Rapture, which is really important into like Kano or Acilio, which even Verdance, I think AB2 isn't where you wanted to be. It was just you needed Footsteps because she's an Earth hero. And I think that's only more true now. The release of Burn Bear in High Seas as just a wizard popper kind of makes these hard to run. I want my footsteps in a lot more matchups now. Like I've hit Kano, who's running a bunch of poppers. Verdance has 11, 12, 15. I think I've seen like 21 poppers is the max I've, or like the highest I've seen from them. And Acilio, even I've seen on 6 poppers. I want footsteps, which means sacking AB2, and I'm not giving up Halo for it, and I'm not giving up Rapture in any of those matchups or Vestige into Verdance. So I think Silent Stilettos, really this is just Arcane Barrier 1. We're never using it for this text down here. We're just not. We're not paying 3 for an action point. No. This is just fancy Arcane Barrier 1. So really this is Null Boots, is what I should actually have put up here. But no, I think Footsteps is still too important to the deck, and I don't know that I've seen anyone run Silent Stilettos in a while. And I don't think I can justify it anymore at this point. But maybe an LL, depending on what deck you're against, a Kano there might be okay. I still don't know if it's necessary there, but yeah, Silent Stilettos was our second point of Arcane Barrier, but I think it is no more after High Seas has been released, unfortunately. Stonewall Gauntlet. This was this has been a very good piece of equipment at different points in the deck's history. Obviously, during Art of War meta with Zen and Bonds of Ancestry, you could easily get like 4 or 5 points of value off of this. And it was just a very good, like, you can almost always guarantee 2 value off of this. No matter what matchup it's in, you're gonna find a spot where they have pumped something, and you're gonna get 2 value off of it. But it is significantly weaker now with Art of War gone. I'm much less happy to have it. The only things it's really hitting are like Rake Over the Coals, which it doesn't really hit. They're gonna play it as a reaction in their first thing, and then they're going to Break Over the Coals is just for the entire turn, so they're going to usually find a decent spot to break the chain. Spreading Flames is probably the only thing this is really hitting now, which it means like that it's not quite enough. It is a fine, just value block equipment if you want to go that way. Some people are talking about like Wave of Reality, and compared to this, I don't know which one I don't know if I like either. Wave is really just 2 value to me. Just because like in the matchups where people are talking about it, it just breaks very early. And you're not gonna you don't get to use it at all. It's just gone. And that's just not good enough. And Stonewall feels like it's kind of the same, where it's like it'll either be Iron Rot or it'll be Iron Hide you don't have to pay for, which is fine. But I think the deck can do better at the moment. If you have an 80th slot and you think there's going to be a bunch of Syndra and you know they're all on Spreading Flames, this can be decent. They go Spreading Flames into kunai, and then you drop this on the kunai, and their Spreading Flames is a 1 for 3, and that's pretty good. That's pretty sick. That's pretty great. Um, yeah, I think that's a possibility if Syndra becomes that much of a part of your meta. It could be worth it. But I think I'd rather look elsewhere at the moment if I'm trying to deal with Syndra, and not Wave of Reality. Um, Keeping in that vein, though, quick dodge flexors. This is basically Stonewall Gauntlet, but like dial everything to 11, which is it's even more niche, but it is still like actually just really good value. It's really good value. Um, I think I only ran this for a little bit around Memphis on Hunted release, which is when Flexors came out, and it was nice into like Syndras and Fangs that had basically no poppers. Like we could actually just like bet going into the game that they would have basically effectively no poppers, and we could play around it the whole time, and that Flexors would just be raw value that we could convert often on turn 0, and that's fine because we just got extra health for it. We just turned a yellow plus boots was going to block 4, which is better than yellow plus boots is going to get in footsteps. I think as popper counts go up, we can't really afford to keep them. And we just need footsteps. Like this is what it keeps coming back to recently is we need footsteps. Footsteps are just too good. They are. And quick dodge flexors, they're great. I don't think we were really using them for a de-react later. It was much more I'm going to convert an early awkward hand just for raw value. Just get value out of it and be happy with it, and that's it. But no, they've had their time, but I think as Prism gets more attention, they're going to find themselves in fewer and fewer lists as popper counts go up, and we have to respect that and keep footsteps. So, yeah. Goliath Gauntlet. This is one that still floats around a lot. It's fine. It's good. It does a thing. It is effectively a 1-turn Pierce Reality, which is good. It is good. I think like all of these like get worse as popper counts go up. All of this equipment. Just because I think Dreamweavers gets better in this arm slot. This is definitely the softest of the slots for competition for equipment. Our arm slots are all generally pretty weak, as I talk about in the core video. And it's fine. It's 2 value that you're going to get. Putting it on a Judgment is great. Putting it on Erudition is great. Pairing it with Pierce Reality to give, so your first thing is +4 is fantastic. It basically makes it like, if they don't have the popper, they can't stop it. So like pairing it with that extra level of on hit is really good. So I know a lot of people who were pairing this with Herald of Judgment against Zen, or pairing this with Erudition against Zen to like really like try and push them around. So like it is good. It's not my preference. I think I still prefer Weavers. I prefer 1 turn of Passing Mirage to 1 turn of Pierce Reality. And that's because I think a popper swings things more than the +2 will net me. And maybe that's a factor of Judgment isn't doing as much right now. That could honestly be a real consideration. But also Weavers I can put on any Herald, and if I'm trying to pair I can put this on any Herald except Wartune. Relevant note. But pairing it, if I'm looking to pair this specifically with Judgment, that makes me shy away from it just a little bit. Whereas I don't feel nearly as bad about, I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't feel bad about putting this on a different Herald, but I basically never feel bad about putting Weavers on any other Herald. So it's good. Making Judgment an 8 or Erudition a 7 effectively base is very powerful. And then making them 10s when you pair this with a Pierce Reality anyways is just like, you're setting up your turn to just be super explosive. because it just becomes very hard. This is Goliath Gauntlet and Weavers are both trying to do the same thing, which is make it harder to stop your Herald from hitting. And they just do it in different ways. And my preference is Weavers. But Goliath Gauntlet, still very good. I have no issue when I see it in lists. Yeah, I just value 1 turn of Passing Mirage higher than 1 turn of Pierce Reality. But +2 value on your gloves, sick. Great. Especially in a proactive way. Yeah. It is a slight gamble that if they have the popper, things can get hairy. But again, I think with this whole section, it's like the less poppers they have, the better this equipment gets. Yeah. Relatively quick one, just 4 of those. Yeah, so this is going to end part 3. I'll be back in a little bit with part 4. Peace.